Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Rob's Little Blue Book. And tonight is going to be kind of an experiment. Some of these shows are things I've done a million times, and I get to show you guys how to do them, and that's great. And some of them, we do things I haven't done in a long time, which is what tonight is. We're doing hand-pulled noodles tonight, which is an old favorite, but I haven't done it in a long time. And it looks... I kind of went down the rabbit hole over the last couple of days researching hand-pulled noodles, because the way I used to do it was just salt, flour, and water. And the thing with hand-pulled noodles is you have to nail that ratio like right on the money. Every flour is different. I mean, water's the same, but every flour is different, and the amount of salt is really easy to misjudge. Salt makes your noodles elastic and strong. However, too much salt, they won't pull properly. Too little salt, they don't hold together in the water, and you really have to get everything right. And so we are going to do hand-pulled noodles, and there's a couple of new things that you can add. And it turns out that in China, where they do a lot of hand-pulled noodles, they add peng huai, which is it used to be the ash of some plant that they burned down, and they would add the ash to the noodles, which let them stretch. And it also had a gluten relaxer in it. But other than AliExpress, you can't really order it. I'm going to order some, I think, just to try it out. But it also turns out that the chemicals in it... So anyway, it's not ash from a plant anymore. It's chemical substitutes. And some of the chemicals are not good for you. You can have a little bit, it's going to be okay, but in general, not nice stuff. So recently, you can actually, there's a couple substitutes you can do for that. The ingredient you want, what's really important to have in a hand-pulled noodle recipe, is a gluten relaxer, so your dough will actually stretch. Glutathione is the relaxer that you want. You can order, turns out, pharmacy-grade glutathione on Amazon, which I did, but it doesn't come till tomorrow. However, it turns out that nutritional yeast also really high in glutathione, so you can use nutritional yeast as your dough relaxer, which is what we're going to do tonight. We're actually going to do a mix. A little bit of research. I'm going to write into the ingredients. I'm going to do the cocktail in a sec, because I have a really fun one that was suggested by Rebecca. But this is my homebrew peng huai, which is nutritional yeast, which comes as a flake. Excuse me, it comes as a flake. You got to grind it up. I added a bit of xanthan gum. This doesn't really affect how the dough works, but it makes the noodles a lot stronger and gives them a good chew. And there's a little bit of salt in here as well. So this is my homebrew version of it, and hopefully it works. Let me show you the rough recipe we're working from tonight. So guys, you absolutely have to have a scale for this. I don't even think you can put volume measurements. The ratios are pretty crucial. So the one nice thing about nutritional yeast, though, using it is it is a lot more forgiving in terms of your hydration for the dough. So as I said before, like, you pick a flour that you want to work with, and you have to experiment until you get the exact ratio of water, and it has to be like down to the within 5 grams. And the humidity in your place is going to make a difference, and the temperature you work the dough. Once you get it, it's great. But the nice thing about nutritional yeast is it allows you to... It's just more forgiving. Your hydration range goes from like 1% to like 5 to 6%, which is a pretty significant increase. So you'll see how that goes. The other thing you're going to want to have is a bench scraper. If you don't have one, get one. These are useful for all kinds of things. They're super cheap and really handy. But let's do the cocktail, because this looks like a really fun one tonight. We're going to do a cocktail called the Brass Rail, which was invented by somebody whose name I can't remember. But he invented it sort of in honor of his friend Helen David, who had a bar called the Brass Rail and was fond of a nightcap, and she was also very fond of Benedictine. And since I have a lot of it, this is going to be a good cocktail. So, it's kind of a Manhattan-ish style. Actually, it's more of a daiquiri, really. We have, and use good rum for this. If you're making a rum and coke, Bacardi is fine, but this really calls for like an aged rum, which we have here. We're going to use a little Benedictine, some bitters, and this is also shaken like a sour. So we're going to use a little egg white to make it nice and foamy. So egg whites in a drink have excellent mouthfeel. They put a nice foam on the top, and it's just generally a great thing to have. If you're squeamish about raw eggs, don't use it, I guess. But I'm not, so there you go. So let's put this together. It has a couple of extra steps. Any drink with an egg white, whether it's a sour or this one, is going to, you shake it with ice, then you strain it, and then you dry shake it, which allows the egg white to foam up to a nice consistency. So I didn't have a card for this, so you guys are gonna have to look this one up, but it's everywhere. So we're gonna go with I'm making 2 here, so I'm gonna go with 1.5 ounces per, maybe a little more than 1.5 ounces per for the rum. And we want 1 ounce of Benny, which is my new short form for my nickname for Benedictine. Ouch. We want 1 ounce of lemon juice, which I have pre-squeezed right here, which I'm pouring all over the counter. Awesome. We want 1 ounce of simple syrup. So this is actually, for this drink, sorry, you don't want maybe 1 ounce, maybe 2/3 of an ounce. This is a double strength simple syrup. So this is actually 2 parts sugar, 1 part water. So a normal simple syrup, the one I normally use, is 1-to-1. This is 2-to-1. It's a little bit sweeter, but it suits this drink. So, and you want sort of 1/3 of an ounce of egg white. This is a really easy way to do egg whites, by the way, in a cocktail, because you just kind of squirt it in. We need all of it anyway. If you have more than a bunch of egg whites, or you're making a whole bunch. Making stuff time. Yeah, there we go. How's that? Okay. And then orange bitters, 1 dash per cocktail, so 2 dashes. One of the things with egg whites is in a cocktail, they have amazing mouthfeel, and they have a nice froth, but they don't, like on the top of a drink, they can have kind of like an off-putting odor. So the bitters, and I'm going to squeeze some orange over it as well. Takes that away. So I'm going to, oh, nice. It's really cold. Okay. So then we strain it just into this mixer for a sec. Lose the ice. Pour it back. And then you give it a dry shake, which is much quieter. Oh, I'm going to shaking cam. There we go. See? Okay. And then finally, when you serve this, you want to... I'm going to skip the orange, actually. I just thought of another idea. You want to put this through a finer strainer when you finally serve it. So this guy will do. Just to catch any of, like, thicker parts of the egg white and stuff. These look really good. Perfect. And again, so a few things you can do with that. I'm going to dust this. This is traditionally dusted with a little cinnamon, which will take care of our egg white odor. And I'm going to deliver one of these. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, this is the brass rail. And you can see it got a nice creamy foam on it. This really is kind of a fallish, winterish nightcap drink. I'm not going to bed just yet, but I'm going to drink it anyway. And it's a lovely drink. It's really, really tasty. It's pretty sweet. But, there you go. Almost looks like a latte, doesn't it? Okay. Now, back to the hand-pulled noodles. So again, this is going to be a technique night. I'm going to probably serve it just with... I'm going to serve it a couple different ways. I have my my go-to udon broth back here, which I'm going to... So I'll do a soup version. And I'm probably going to try them like just with a little soy and maybe some sesame oil. Because this is more about... You can use these noodles in all kinds of dishes. And if you look up hand-pulled noodles, there's a whole bunch of traditional ones. But I want to focus on the technique for making them tonight. So the first thing we're going to do is... now you have to let the dough rest for 2 to 3 hours. So I can't show you the mixing part of this. This is the nutritional yeast version. I'm going to try and get it out. And I haven't worked this dough at all. So it'll be interesting to see how stretchy it is. And it actually seems, this is right out of the gate. This is pretty stretchy. Okay, this might actually work. Another thing you can do, I have a little thing of oil here. This dough, it's super fun to work with. You'll learn so much about working with flour and dough with this recipe. It's like a non-Newtonian fluid. It won't stick, but if you leave it even down for a second, it'll start to stick to your counter. So, first of all, why not just knead this in the stand mixer? Why not just throw the dough in the stand mixer, which is a really good question. And the main reason is because unlike bread, so when you knead dough for bread, when bread goes in the oven, it expands in every direction. However, our noodles are only going to get pulled in one. So we want our gluten to develop in line with our noodle. So basically from here, you just pull, okay, and you can just fold it up the first couple of times. Folding it in half is the easiest way to do it. And when you're pulling this too, you don't just yank it out in one pull. Give it a couple stretches, a couple of bounces. I'm actually really impressed with how stretchy this is already. It does need to be worked. So you're gonna be. Will you talk about the ingredients for the dough? Yes. So flour, and I'm experimenting with different kinds of flour. We're gonna do another pull in a second. This is a high gluten bread flour, which makes for a strong noodle, but does make them a little harder to pull. The salt, the amount of salt in your dough is also, and this is also, so as I said, you can see here, one of the things, because it's not fully worked yet, is it won't stretch totally evenly, and you do want that. You need to get like a nice even stretch. But actually, I think this is going okay. I have another batch, which I'm also going to try tonight, which I haven't tried before with just regular all-purpose flour. The amount of salt is kind of one of the critical things. It's really picky about the amount of salt. If you put too much in, your dough becomes really hard to stretch and pull. If you put too little in, though, it doesn't have enough strength. So, but basically we want to spend, what time is it? It's 7:14, so we want to spend a few minutes just, I don't know how loud that is actually when I hit the counter. I'll try not to hit the counter. But yeah, we just want to It's just extend and then put it back together. Maybe give it a roll. This is a very sticky dough, so it and you'll see when we go to pull it, you pull it in a ton of flour. But the nice thing about this, especially if you're learning, is that you can practice pulling. Yeah, my arms. We were at the gym yesterday, and my arms. One thing you don't want to do is go to the gym right before you are making hand-pulled noodles, because I'm already feeling it. But I'm actually pretty happy with it. Like, wow, this is just like, it's great. Now, it won't pull into noodles yet, but as I said, for practice, you can just pull this dough over and over and over again. Now, your noodles are going to stick together. If you don't pull them in flour, it just becomes like a solid mass again. But you can practice your technique of pulling the noodles. I don't want to drop this on the floor, but I need a little more space here. You can practice your technique of pulling noodles over and over and over with the same dough. And then when you're ready to go for it, dust the counter with flour, and still sticking a bit here, and you're good to go. So, any questions so far? Did I cover the ingredients enough? I mean, there's only a couple, so I hope so. But again, it's just pull, 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 wind them up. No eggs. Dough recipe here. I'll pop the dough recipe up again. There's no eggs. It's really straightforward. And as I said before, like when I used to do this before, and I'll tell you, the way I did it before was way harder. Nope. You don't. So unlike a ramen noodle, you don't want an alkali in this one. It makes it too hard to pull the noodles. So, and also your noodles don't. They'll curl if you put an alkaline in them. Like they'll curl up like chow mein noodles, and get all bunched up. So yeah. But I feel like, yeah, we're not quite. See, it's not stretching quite as evenly as I want. Got this like fat bit in the middle here, but I feel like it's going okay. But again, it's just you just got to work it. Now, I will say that with the old way of just flour and water and salt, you had to do this for a long time to get the gluten to just relax. You would never be able to do this right out of the bowl. Like, this is incredible. Pretty happy actually, because that's one of the stumbling blocks. And I guess when you're learning to do hand pulled noodles, it's hard. Like, even I haven't done this in a long time, so we'll see how it goes when I have to finally pull these. But it's hard, and it takes a lot of practice. It's totally worth doing, because this is something you can't buy in the store. I mean, you can go to a noodle place if you have one near you, but you can't buy this in the store and bring it home. This is something that you can only make in your kitchen, and it's a real skill, and it's worth learning. Also, when you get faster at it, you can whip it up pretty quick. So I'm gonna try. I think it's too soon. I've only been doing this for about 5 minutes, and everything needs to probably go longer. But I'm gonna try a pull just to show you guys what that looks like, and sort of the technique for pulling. And believe me, I am by no means an expert at this. Okay, so let's see where we're at. I'm trying to do a pull here. So the other thing too is when you're pulling, you want to you don't want to just. It's okay to it's like bursty. You know what I mean? Like, you do it in short tugs, and then just bring it around, and again you just stretch it out like that. Just short tugs, right? Now these are going to stick together because I'm not doing them in flour, but I kind of feel, it's just those short little bursts. Okay, it's not quite ready yet, But as I said, when you're practicing, you can do this. You can do that pull that I just did. You can do that over and over and over again until you get the feel of it, until you're ready to go for the flour. Oh, the other thing too is, which I should do right now actually, excuse me guys, is you want to have your water boiling and get my udon going again. So when you're serving this, you have to serve it right away. This is not something where you make up 4 portions and then serve them all at once. You literally, like, as soon as you pull the noodles, they go in the water for, just like a minute or two, and then they go straight into whatever you're serving, and you serve them, and then you make the next portion, which can be fun. I mean, it's really quick. I just hit the mic, didn't I? Sorry, move that back a bit. But again, it's just stretch. How loud is it, by the way, when I hit the counter? I'm going to turn the mic down. Somebody tell me. Okay. So I'm going to do this till the water comes up to a boil, and we'll see how it goes. It's too bad the Kingston crew isn't on tonight, because this would be a really fun one to do. This would be really fun to do with kids. Okay, good. Like I can see my mic monitor just like shoot into the red every time I hit the counter. But if it's not too bad for you guys, it's fine. Oh. Yeah, don't do this after a workout, guys. Okay, so now we're gonna try. Let's try a sample pull here. You'll see what the bench creeper's for in a second when I have to get that off the counter. So again, we're just gonna and you can actually it's okay to roll out your first stretch to get a nice even thing. So again, just you bring it around, and we're just gonna tug it out. There we go. Around again, and just like short bursts. Do the little wave thing. So when we have flour here, this little wave thing helps get all the noodles coated in flour. And if these weren't sticking together, I think I do 5 pulls. I forget. I'm pretty sure I do 5 pulls. And that's it. And then you chop them straight into the water. Wow, it's really sticky. Okay, so let me see where my water's at, and maybe we'll go for a pull here. And you can see this is just like stuck to the counter, even with the oil. Okay. I probably should have turned the water on earlier. However, it gives me time to work the dough a little more, and even enjoy my cocktail a little bit here. Okay, so we're gonna keep. So any questions? This is actually turning out to be a little simpler than I thought it was going to be. And if to learn this too, there's a ton. This is obviously all over YouTube, because it's fun to do and it looks cool. You can just, by the way, you can just fold these in half. You can just do your pull, and then fold it in half. I like the twirl. I got to admit, I think it looks kind of cool. It makes you look like you know what you're doing, even though it's kind of automatic. Yeah. Again, it's still not getting the full pull that I really want. Yeah, I know. Well, wait till we pull in the flour, because this is not hard. Oh God, my arms. This is not hard. The hard part is pulling the noodles, keeping the strands consistent, pulling to the right thickness. Not much can go wrong in this stage, really. How's my broth doing? Okay. Yeah. Seems like we're doing okay. Missed that one. Okay. We're going to put this into a bit of a log here. Wow. We're waiting for the water. We're waiting for the water. Let that rest for a second. Let me rest for a second. No. So that's the other nice thing about this. You cannot overwork this dough. It is impossible. The way I used to do it, and traditionally, if you don't have glutathione, is that's one of the ways you get the stretch, is you just work the crap out of it over and over and over. Letting it rest definitely helps a lot. Theoretically, with nutritional yeast, so the difference between nutritional yeast and Peng Hua is magnesium bisulfate, I think, is the active ingredient, one of the active ingredients. It's the stretch maker in Peng Hua. But it deactivates after about half an hour. So if you watch like a traditional noodle chef, master, whatever you call it, they'll make the dough, they'll let it rest for a couple hours, but then when they go to actually prepare the portions, and the Peng Hua gets mixed into a water, so they have a water solution that they'll sprinkle on the dough, but they have to work quick at that point because the stretching ingredient will deactivate after about half an hour, and if you don't get your noodles stretched and pulled into the water by then, you're out of luck. So the nice thing about nutritional yeast is you put it in at the beginning, it never deactivates. It's just stretchy forever. Okay. Feeling at my shoulders. So I'm going to put this back into a little log here. And we're going to try and pull some in a sec. Wish me luck, guys. It has been a long time. Let's get some flour ready here. So I want to do, after we do this, I'm going to try also, again, my ladle for getting things out of packages even. I'm going to try some of the other doughs. This is very close to what I used to do, so I kind of had some comfort with it. But I do have a couple of other experiments I'll talk you through. So, because the thing is, what I'm doing here, the basic ratios will work, but you're going to have to fine tune it for your own climate and your own place, because humidity is a factor, temperature is a factor, the flour you get. This is Robin Hood Best for Bread flour, which is a higher gluten flour, which is a little harder to pull, but makes for a stronger noodle. So it's always a trade-off, right? If I didn't have the nutritional yeast, I probably would have used an all-purpose flour, and I have one behind me. So the other thing about nutritional yeast is it has a flavor. And I recommend when you first start out, use the ratios that I showed you at the beginning of the video off the card. But after you get some practice, try and dial that down a bit, because that's a lot of nutritional yeast, and it will affect the flavor of your noodle. Now, if you like the taste of nutritional yeast, go for it. But most people don't. Okay, so we got our water boiling. Let's do this. So here's our log and lots of flour. You want lots of flour. And this is the other reason this is kind of the point of no return, because we're now changing the mixture. We're changing the ratios in the dough, right, by adding flour. So let's see how this goes. So I'm just going to stretch this out. Get flour all over my mouse. We're going to come around. And again, just short, like little bursts. Get it out there. Keep it consistent. What I've seen some people do, which I don't do, is if you want to keep your noodles all the same and consistent, you can put a little twist in here, and one broke there. So if it breaks, just grab it and bring it back. And how many did I say I was going to do? Get the wave going. I said 5, right? Am I going to get 5? All of them breaking? No, I'm not. Okay. Now, okay, this is now turned into a disaster here. But we're going to go with it anyway. This end comes off. And we do not have, like, great consistency here. But it's not too bad, considering I haven't done this in years. So then these all just are going to go into our water. Again, not the best consistency, but not bad. So let's get those in the water and see what happens. What do you think? 66 seconds? I'm guessing. And I'm going to... Again, this is just my go-to udon broth. This is 2 cups of dashi, half a cup of soy sauce, and half a cup of mirin. That's it. Now you guys can see me. The other thing you do want to do here is they need to be rinsed just slightly under cold water. Helps improve the strength and the integrity of the noodle. I mean, they look pretty good. Alright, let's do a quick rinse. You don't want to cool them off too much. And then into the bowl. Let's see where we're at here. So there you go, guys. That's my first hand-cooled noodles in probably 10 years, I would bet. Maybe longer. Again, we have some consistency issues here. These are actually a little bit thick. So that you want them to come out like thinner than udon, but like not a lot thinner. So let's see how this tastes. They have a great chew. Wow. Yeah. Having said that you would be able to taste the nutritional yeast, I can't taste it. Those are really tasty. So not the best looking noodles, but wow, they taste great. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna I want to keep doing noodles, so I'm gonna pass this bowl off to Serena, and I'll be right back. And we'll do another pull because I also want to try a different serving. She's gonna get a Okay, so whatever. Add anything else to it? What the udon broth that I just served, Darcy? Is that what you were asking about? I mean, you can use these noodles in any dish. There's a lot of traditional dishes. I just wanted to keep it basic because I wanted to be able to taste the noodle. But let's see if we can do another one here. Already, I can tell this one's gonna be a pain in the ass. All right, yeah. You can, as I said, this is the beauty of this is you can totally make it your own. You know, you can make a soup with it. You can have the noodles just like you'll see in a second. Because this batch, I'm going to concentrate for just a second because I'm really out of practice. No, it broke. Okay, we're going to ignore the broken ones and just keep going. Except for the broken ones, this is actually going a little better. Yeah, maybe not. There is a technique to keeping. Okay, that didn't work. Let's try that again. Yeah, you can serve this veggies over it. You can do it with beef. And I wonder if I pooch this. I wonder if this is not going to work. I have a feeling I have blown my chance to pull this noodle thing. See if I can salvage this. Okay. No, it's just gonna break. Ah, shoot. Yep. Come on, stretch. Be good to me for. And again, there's a method for keeping the. Well, I'm going to throw these in the water. Oh, there we go. They all just broke. Okay. Missed my chance with this batch of dough, guys. We did get one good batch out, though. So I'm just going to put this aside for now. And let's move on to... Yeah, too bad. Okay. We're going to move on to the next batch. So any questions? I'm going to kill this water for now. See what we can do with this batch. This batch is actually, you know what? No, I can pull this batch. So this is a batch I was working earlier today, and this should be just ready to pull. So cross your fingers and let's see if we can make this happen. By the way, I'm going to come back to this whole recipe concept in a later stream, probably in a couple of weeks, because first of all, I'm having a really good time doing this. And I think this is just a fantastic technique to learn. And I want to get better at it. And I want to experiment. I ordered some just straight up glutathione. And I want to try that. So let's see if we can make this a little better here. This doesn't... Yeah. Okay, I kind of feel like that's about where we want to be at. This is definitely seems like it's pulling easier. And I'm breaking my own rule here. Like as I said like short bursts, and I'm kind of just pulling on it because it's been a while. But I feel like this is going a little better. Oh, there, one broke, but I think I can save it. Let's come back around. Yeah. No, this is just not. Come on, you guys. Stretch for me. No. Okay. Well, another batch. Let's try this one more time. Ah, Dan noodles are great. I can do that for sure. Okay, guys. Let's get this. Let's get some noodles pulled here. I feel like this is 5th time's the charm. Is this the 4th or the 5th time? We'll see. And there's this twist thing to keep them consistent. So you can do once you've got 4 strands going, you can kind of give them a twist, and it'll break anyway. Let's come around. Let's see if I can get. Again, I want to have all this up here and just. So I think the issue here, one of the issues I can tell, is that I just don't have the dough. Oh, this is actually going okay. The dough isn't elastic enough. I'm getting too much resistance on the pull. You just made lemon noodles over there. But I'm just normally, and when I did this before, I just got a better pull, like finer strands, and this is just not working. Okay. We did get one batch. We can go on to one more thing, but I'm going to have a lot of noodle dough left over. This final batch here, and I said this is going to be experiment night, so here we go. Is the lower... Oh, and I don't want the flour. Shoot. Hang on. So this batch is much closer to what I used to make. I cut way back on the nutritional yeast, and I don't know if you can tell on camera, but this is like significantly whiter. Oh, it actually looks the same, doesn't it? Hold on to this camera. Yeah, no, you can't tell. This is, to my eye, significantly more yellow from the nutritional yeast, whereas this is a lot more white. So let's see if we can actually get a pull out of this stuff. And after that, I'm going to call it a day. This feels pretty good, though. Now, this hasn't been worked at all. So this is just going to take a sec. Let's see if we can get going. Any other questions? You know what, guys? This is going to take 15 or 20 minutes probably, and I'm not going to do that for you guys. It's just... So, there's not really a disadvantage, but when you use less of the dough relaxer, it gets you have to knead it a lot more, and you can see here too. So one of the ways to tell if your dough is ready to pull or is the right consistency is if I pull this. Actually, this is pretty good. So if it snaps if you pull it and it snaps like silly putty, it needs more water. But I don't think I'm going to be able to make this into a workable dough in a reasonable amount of time. Pretty sure I'm not. No. This also needs more flour. So this dough is actually too sticky. It's too wet. But I don't think I'm going to be able to make it into a workable dough in time, in a reasonable amount of time. I'm not. Okay. All right, guys. So this was kind of an experiment, and we got one good pull. The first pull was the best. I have a lot of extra dough. Unfortunately, this is not much you can do with it. As I said, once you get to this point, I don't know if I can do anything with this. It's kind of too late, because now I've changed the consistency of the dough. There's now way too much flour in here. I can see it. It's tightened up. I can tell already. It's just not going to stretch. Which is so this. Yeah, see the way that snapped? When it's the right consistency, it'll kind of just ooze apart. If it snaps like that, and it'll actually make an audible sound, it doesn't have enough water in it. So I might be able to salvage this, go back and add some water to it. I'm not going to do that with you guys now. We'll try it. I'm just going to make this a giant ball and let it rest. So anytime you change the consistency of the dough, oh hell no. Oh hell no. I just made up a large batch because I was trying out different techniques and ratios. I will say that you can't, if your batch is too small, it won't, you don't have enough to pull. You need a certain amount of dough to stretch, and if the batch is too small, you just don't have enough to work with. There's not enough dough to take up the pressure you're putting on it or the tension. This is going to have to sit. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. I may be able to just roll this into ramen noodles or something. I don't want to waste it. But yeah, I will figure that out another time. So yeah, kind of a mixed bag tonight, guys. It's been a long time since I did this, but I really think like this is something everybody should learn how to do. It takes a little bit of practice. Once you get it, well, I was going to say it's like riding a bike, but it's obviously not. But once you get it, it'll stick with you. And the other thing is too, once you dial in your recipe, your right ratios for where you are, and the flours that you have, don't switch your flour. Once you have a flour that works, stick with it. And once you have your recipe dialed in, obviously record all your whatever. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just flour and water. Like, it's cheap as pasta. I have a giant log of some kind of dough. Let me try and put this through the pasta machine. I don't know yet. Anyway, guys, this is actually totally the wrong consistency for making pasta or ramen noodles or anything else. I will figure it out another time. So any other questions? I'm going to hang around for a bit, and I'm going to have to figure out something to make for dinner. But I appreciate, there definitely going to be a part 2. I have as I said, I have some pharmacy grade glutathione coming tomorrow. This is not it for me. I'm going to keep practicing this and watching other noodle masters. You can learn a lot just from watching other guys do this. They do make it look easy. However, most of the guys I was watching have been doing it their entire adult lives. So yeah, they're going to be good at it. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and watching me go through this. And I think it was worthwhile. I had a really good time. I'm sorry we didn't get a couple of better pulls, but that's the way it goes. So I'm going to hang around for a few minutes if you guys have any questions. Then I'm going to sign off and probably make some burgers because I have burgers in the fridge. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, I mean, sometimes one good pull is all you need. And we did get one, right? Like, I wonder if I can actually, like... So now I have this massive dough thing here. Can this actually be salvaged? So this is everything, like... Wow, this is a huge piece of dough. I don't know. I still feel that this is not. I'm not getting it should just pull, not quite effortlessly, but I should be able to just take this and just extend my arms and have the dough come with it. And this is just, it's not there yet. And I don't know whether it's because, well, now who knows what consistency this is. It's like 3 recipes together. But yeah, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. And now I've added a bunch of flour to it, and I think this may just be a lost cause. Oh well. Okay, guys, if there aren't any more questions, you have about 30 seconds to account for latency, and then I'm going to sign off and make some food because I'm hungry. But as always, I love doing this for you guys. Oh, do you want to talk about next week maybe a little bit? Any requests? Any thoughts on what you guys want to see? I don't have my list with me, and I have a couple of things I want to do. I'm tempted, honestly, I want to kind of go back to an Italian dish or two. They're suitable for stream because I can prepare them, just... Like, as I said, there's not a lot of prep work. Like, it's something you prepare at the, a la minute or whatever, at the minute. And I like the Italian focus on a few really high quality ingredients, which is, the way I like to cook. So I think I'm going to find, and we talked about doing fish too. Maybe I can find an Italian fish dish, or maybe I'll do 2 things. Yeah, we should do some absinthe because I have so much absinthe. Having said that, so maybe what we can do next week is let's do an Italian menu, because an Italian menu typically will start with a primo, like a small pasta dish, a small portion of pasta. Then there'll be like your secondo, I think it's called. So they don't do like the American pie chart plate thing where you've got like protein, veg, starch. Each ingredient, each section of the pie chart is usually its own course, which is actually a really elegant way to eat. So we could start with, yeah, you think so? But we could start with, we could do it like a little pasta starter dish, and then follow it up with a fish, and then maybe something after that. What do the Italians call the salad course? Insalata? I don't remember. It's been a while. But we could do like an entire Italian menu. Might be fun. So let me look into that. I think that's what I'm going to do next week. I got a good feeling about that already. And I've been meaning to do fish for you guys for a while. Although I also wanted to show you sole meuniere. It's a tough call. Does anybody have any interest in learning how to fillet a fish, which is also useful? So that's what we'll do. I'll go find a whole fish somewhere. Maybe I'll go down to St. Lawrence Market, pick up a really good whole fish. I'll show you guys how to fillet a fish, which is something everybody should know how to do, and it's really easy, unlike this. And we'll do like a little pasta primo, something simple. We did cacio e pepe. Maybe we'll do like an amatriciana or something. We'll figure it out. We'll have a good time next week, and we'll do an Italian multi-course menu. I'm not doing tiramisu, though. I don't like it. So I'll think of something else. Maybe we'll do creme brulee, which is not Italian at all, but I haven't been done in ages either. So, okay, guys. We got some ideas. Everybody have a great week. Everybody have a great weekend. And I'll see you next Wednesday. Cheers, guys.